Hi guys, this is your boy Shavel, back with another video. Basically, I will bring to you what you didn't know about your health, wealth, and happiness. Now, many of you might not have known me at all, so just for this video only, I would like to inform you guys, that I've been married for 6 years and I have three beautiful children. My wife and I will be happy to share our experiences and let you know, what's been working for us. Now, one thing we've implemented was a challenge to learn something new every single day, whether it's about finances, whether it's about budgeting, whether it's about marriage or healthy foods that we should start eating, tips and tricks that we've seen working for us. So what we'll do is then feed you this information in a bite-sized chunk, so that whilst we're on our journey, you could start your journey with us likewise. So this is it. We're not here to just give you information. The problems are solved not by giving new information, but by arranging what we have known a very long time. So we want to bring it in an arranged manner. Sometimes, you might not even know, but the curated manner in which we'll be informing you will make you a smarter you by the end of 2019. So our videos are mainly for educational purposes. So please like, subscribe, comment, engage, whatever it is that we could be able to know that our journey is not in vain. So just to let you know, we're on to 5 bizarre marriages. Take it away, Jack.
Somewhere in Indonesia, unemployed, Gora Halit, 18, was seen in a Bali paddy field standing naked behind a cow. We don't need to become graphic here today, but yes, you hear me correct. He claimed that the animal was a young and beautiful woman. Surprisingly so, the animal had seduced him with flattering compliments. Fittingly enough, the boy was sentenced to marry the cow. His bestiality out of wedlock was evidently scandalous to the community. The forced marriage to the cow was to cleanse the coastal village of Yayambang of the bestiality. It was reported the wedding was so stressful it caused poor Ngura Ali to faint. Ali quickly then became a widower when his new bride was drowned in the sea as part of the Pagaruan ritual. Ngura Ali was also ritually washed, in a mock drowning, to remove the sin. I'd like to know, what are your thoughts on Mr. Ali's situation? Were the elders wrong for forcing the marriage? Leave your comments in comment section below. In the meantime and between time, Mr. Ali is not the first nor would he be the last. Marriage was always considered to be a relationship between two people. But with the rate everything is going, it would soon be two of anything. No kidding. Hear me out, keep listening and we'll see. I once was married, so I'm no expert. Shavel is married and he's still no expert. Nevertheless, whilst you're thinking about that brings me to number 4. If you thought Mr. Ali did it bad, will take a trip to South Sudan. This one is going to be interesting. Coming all the way from South Sudan, just as in the case with Mr. Ali, Mr. Charles Toom was caught in a similar state of bestiality. Only this time it was a goat. In his eyes a sexy one at that. It's a sad world, and although bestiality may still be continued, in this world it's only a few cases like these would ever be exposed on the news. This one leaves a memorable disgorge, and the exposed went to the likes of major news outlet like BBC News. The poor animals have nothing much to say, other than come we go, a Guyanese term for come let us go. This news was first published on the 24th of February 2006 by BBC, and attracted massive attention. Did I mention the goat at a name? Oh yes. Yes. Rose Charles Toom Sexy Rose Goat. Okay, kidding aside. It was republished, if that's even a valid word to say, on numerous newspapers, blogs and other websites. Even 1 year after publication, the story was consistently among the BBC's 10 most emailed articles. Charles Toom was forced, by the judgment of a council of village elders, to marry the goat. It's a good thing the council decided to treat the matter as a joke, rather than as a serious crime. However, its members insisted that Toom pay a dowry to the owner of the goat. It would have been within the owner's rights to take Toom to the police and report him for bestiality, so by taking the case to the elders, Toom managed to escape harsher punishment. Tragically, their conjugal bliss was cut short when the wife goat swallowed a plastic bag and choked to death. How unfortunate, huh? The goat was survived by a 4-month-old male kid. I doubt Toom was the father. In November 2013, the South Sudan Law Society called for a review of all South Sudan's laws to abolish bizarre or cruel practices under customary law, such as a man being forced to marry a goat called Rose after deflowering her. Erica Eiffel, I'm guessing from the last name, you may have already guessed who her spouse is, right? For a big portion of her life, Erica's sexual orientation has been met with almost universal condemnation or disdain. Mrs. Eiffel had previously been in a relationship with a bow, of course, no kidding aside. You know when you visit the archery you have an arrow and a bow to shoot. Well, Erica did have an archery. The archery had a name she called Lance. So her extreme love for objects wasn't a one-off shot with the Eiffel Tower. At least she can say she had an ex. Some people may be prejudicial to gays or lesbians, or even transgenders, but in her case she's not even confined to a fundamentalist Christian community. She's an objectum sexual OS. Objectum sexuality is the inclination to develop significant relationships with inanimate object or objects. What's there to prejudice about now? Alright, let's see where it gets extremely mind-boggling. Erica's maiden name was Labrie, but in 2007 changed her surname to Eiffel after a commitment ceremony to her partner of 10 years, the Eiffel Tower. Today she remains happily married, and has since made the most of her fame by founding a web community for others who feel attractions to inanimate objects. Do you know of anyone else suffering from objectum sexual? We do have a legitimate connection to a network of assistance that can be really helpful, you know. The advantage to this objectum sexual dilemma is that it's practically impossible for the object to commit adultery. With that being said, don't forget to like and share this video. We hope you can get a little more personal. What if Erica was found accusing Eiffel of adultery and blocking the entrances to the tower? What would the police do? After all, it's her spouse. I wonder if Mrs. Eiffel and her spouse like to Netflix and chill. Is he a good resource of financial stability? Love is not always about sex, finances, human beings, or objects though, but I can't beg to wonder if that's a shortcoming. This is something we'll never be able to empathize with, but you have our sympathy. We'll be on the lookout, just to see if the news catches Mrs. Eiffel pregnant. Is this for attention-seeking or not? It's an interesting phenomenon. For now, let's go on to number 2 in our countdown. It's a rather bumpy ride. If you thought for a second Erica Eiffel was in this alone, meet Maria Griffin. Remember we said Erica started a club for persons with the same affections for inanimate objects? Guess what? Maria decided she'll take it one notch and marry an object that at least can move. Maria Griffin is the grown woman who chose to be married to a truck. Is it just me? Or am I weird? I mean, I'm sure I could have at least married a Janet Jackson poster, or a Beyoncé video at some point in my life. Like, when I was 6, but then again every man to his own order. Over time Maria developed feelings towards vehicles, Ford trucks in particular. No longer willing to fake affections towards men, she purchased a Ford and married it. At a wedding ceremony conducted by a friend. What a friend. Happy to announce after the wedding, the married couple went on a honeymoon to a campsite. According to Maria, their sex life is healthy and active. If you were going to marry an inanimate object, what would you marry? Do you agree that people marrying inanimate objects are weird? Or is it nice that this woman feels that close to her automobile? Leave your comments in the bottom of the video. True love can take many forms. In this pillowcase, it has taken the form of a Korean man falling in love with, and eventually marrying, a large pillow with a picture of a woman on it. I'm thinking if this pillow is moving around unprotected without a case, the sex life should be phantasm. Oh well. Lee Jin-gyu married a type of pillow called a dekimekura, which in English means Dutch wife. The dekimekura, often printed with anime images, is used in bed to give one something comforting to hug while sleeping. I do believe Lee was too comfortable when he decided to put a ring on it. Now the 28-year-old nerd has wed the pillow in a special ceremony after fitting it out with a wedding dress for the service in front of a local priest. Think for a moment. The priest had a fantabulous day or not? To make it even publicized, their nuptials were eagerly chronicled by the local media. His parents must have been totally flabbergasted. According to his friend, he is completely obsessed with this pillow and takes it everywhere, said one friend. At least fidelity can't be an issue in their relationship. They go out to the park or the fun fair, where it will go on all the rides with him. Then when he goes out to eat, he takes it with him, and it gets its own seat, and its own meal, they added. Notice the very iterate word, it. This is not the first, and certainly may not be the last. Fate Starossa, who hails from the anime series Magical Girl Lyrical Nonoha. After spending prolonged periods of time with Miss Starossa, taking her to restaurants and theme parks, he decided to marry her. Starossa will fade with washing. It is difficult to know just how long this marriage will last.